Hey y'all, welcome back to Krista's Kitchen. So do you ever have the days where you need to get a lot of stuff done, but you really don't feel like doing anything? That's how I feel today. We've got some party snacks that we need to work on, decorations and all of that for the party that we're going to have to transport, but I still have to feed us for dinner tonight. Plus we have karate practice, just like a ton of things, which we all do. We have busy lives. So I've also got a pantry and a freezer that's getting down really low. So I went out kind of looking at what we have out there, and then also took to Pinterest to see if I could find something that doesn't take a lot of work and just something to use up what we have in the freezer and in the pantry. So I found a recipe that I'd pinned a couple of years ago, like 4 years ago, called Texas Stew. I am going to make some changes to it and cut it down like in half because it feeds like 30 people and I don't need that. But it looked really interesting. It's got ground meat, sausage, canned veggies, and I could really use up a lot of the ingredients for what I already have. I am taking some things out and changing it up a little bit, so we'll see how it turns out. But I'm going to zoom y'all in and we'll get started on building it. I am using my Ninja Foodi, which I use quite often. We're going to use it on the saute function and the slow cooker function. So you could easily do this on the stovetop or just in your regular crock pot. I'll move y'all over and let y'all see. So we've got the bottom of our pan heating up. I'm just adding in just a little bit of olive oil, and I've got a pound of our homemade sausage, but you can use kielbasa or whatever you have that I've sliced up. And I'm going to put probably about half of it in at a time. And we're just going to sear this so we get those edges nice and caramelized, kind of crispy. I think it'll just add to the flavor. I don't want to add too much because I want it to sear and not really just steam. Now that our sausage is all seared, I'm going to add in about 2 cups of seasoning blend. And this is just a mix of diced onion, bell pepper, and celery. I'm going to let this saute for just a few minutes just to soften, and then we'll be to our dump and go portion. So now that our veggies are all softened, and they even helped pick up some of the little bits off the bottom of the pan, we're going to add everything else in. So we're going to add our sausage back in that we browned or we seared. I'm going to add in a pound of cooked taco meat, or if you don't have taco meat, just use a pound of ground beef. You can see some of those parts are still frozen. And then we're going to add in 4 small red potatoes that we've diced up, 2 cups of beef broth, a can of diced tomatoes, a can of rotel, a can of corn that we've drained, and a can of pinto beans that's not drained. We're also going to add in about a teaspoon of cumin and about a teaspoon of chili powder. I'm going to stir it all together, but as for the salt, pepper, any other seasonings, we're going to wait to see how the flavorings mix together and how this stew kind of comes together. Like I said, I'll post her original recipe down in the description box. That way, if you want to go see hers, then that way you can try out 2 different recipes. But I'm hoping they'll be similar. She's got pretty good reviews on her recipe. Changed it to slow cooker function, and it's cooking on high. And we'll come back and check it in a couple of hours. Now time to make some coffee and get to work on birthday decorations. So our stew is very much a hearty stew. It's very meat heavy. It did take 4 hours for all of these potatoes to cook through. So if you don't have quite that time, just cut them up in smaller pieces. I will say I wish it had more beans in it. Y'all know we like our beans, but I feel like there's just not enough beans for the ratio of all this, especially since y'all see how much it looks like it has a ton of corn in it, even though that's just one can. But this makes a lot, even with us cutting it in half. It's super yummy. It's like a little bit more hearty and of a chili. I mean, it's really good, and it's called Texas stew. But next time I'll be adding in an extra can of either pinto beans or chili beans, which are pinto beans. But it's definitely a winner. It's simple, so I'll keep it. Tell me what y'all think, and we will see y'all back next time. Y'all have a good night. We even had enough that we were able to freeze almost 8 full cups. So this will be awesome. Probably send a few of these to my mom and then keep a few of these for us.